Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it seems like the Russians are in a hurry and they're not delaying anything. And this article that I have here proves that fact. It seems like Putin does not sleep because he signed some decrees at midnight Russian time. So Russia's, or at least Moscow time. This article comes from Sputnik. It's from 3 hours ago. Here is about 9 o'clock, so over there is morning now. Putin signs decrees recognizing Zaporozhye and Kherson regions as independent territories. Just after midnight on Friday. That means 10 hours ago, 15 hours, 12 hours ago, Russian President Vladimir Putin signed two decrees recognizing Kherson and Zaporozhye as regions independent of Ukraine. So that means he was waiting Thursday night, and when it turned Friday morning, he signed it. They seem to be in a hurry. At least it appears to me. And I'm quoting, "In accordance with the generally accepted principles and norms of international law, recognizing and confirming the principle of equality and self-determination of peoples enshrined in the Charter of United Nations, and taking into account the will of the people of the Kherson region at the referendum which took place on September 27, 2022, I hereby decree to recognize the sovereignty and independence of the Kherson region." The signed decree read. Referenda in the two territories, which Russia has controlled since early in its special operation in Ukraine, were held from September 23rd through 27 to determine their status. Following requests from local administrators, the votes showed that 87.05% of voters in Kherson region and 98.11% in Zaporozhye region wanted to join the Russian Federation, just as nearby Crimea did in 2014 following the US-backed nationalist coup in Kiev. I'm quoting again, Putin's decree recognizes the declarations of the Kherson and Zaporozhye governments to be independent states. However, the question of annexation is expected to be taken up by the Russian government early next month, October. The Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics in the Donbas region rebelled against Ukrainian sovereignty in 2014. I was checking something. As well as the new right-wing nationalist government attempted to reduce the status of the Russian language in the country. Before February, when Moscow recognized the independence of the Donbas republics, roughly one-third of Ukrainians were ethnic Russians and spoke Russian as their first language, which another one-third speak Russian regularly. I'm quoting, people whose primary or secondary language is Russian form a majority of the population or a large plurality in all 5 provinces that have voted to secede from Ukraine. The special operation was launched in February 2022 following the failure of negotiations with Kiev and NATO about Russia's security red lines. The operation aims at achieving what diplomacy could not: the neutralization of Ukraine as a base from which NATO forces would be able to attack Russia, and to the elimination of the neo-Nazi threat against Russians in the area, I guess. I don't know, in a turn. So I don't know what that is over there, but so this is it. He recognized the independence of those two territories, and then remember the other two are Donetsk and Luhansk are recognized, are independent, recognized by Russia, and they will move on with the all formalities in October, at the beginning of October. Now, according to Dmitry Peskov, today, over there today, tomorrow in United States, at 3 o'clock p.m., I think it's Moscow time, in St. George's Hall, big hall, there would be the official signing of some documents over there. I'm not sure what exactly they will sign, because you know, I didn't expect Putin to do it at midnight with this one, but probably he did this so he can move on with the next step. It seems like the whole process of annexation to be legal, it has not, it seems, that's the way it will be, has some steps, and is with this recognition first that those territories are recognized as independent and outside of the jurisdiction of Ukraine. Then they have to be pushed into the Duma, and then the Duma has to sign, and then it's going to be moved to the like the Senate of, because Duma is like the House of the Representatives in the United States of America, and then the Senate, which is called some I can't remember, the Assembly, National something Assembly, and then from there comes back to Putin, who's going to ratify the whole thing and sign everything. In the meantime, I think Putin has to sign together with officials of these republics. They have to sign, you know, this is a referendum, this is our request to be part of Russia, and then they sign all these documents, and it's all kinds of treaties that their foreign policy, the foreign ministries are preparing in order for the leaders, or the guys in charge, at least in former Ukrainian territories, will have to sign together with the president of Russia, Putin. And after that, again, more signing, the final accession of this territory, annexation, reunification, how some Russians see it, and we'll see what's next. The Ukrainians will obviously not recognize it, and most of the world, but I don't think Russia cares. But as, for instance, other countries did not care about other referendum, another one that happened in Europe, if you remember that one. Hint, Serbia. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.